dick eating. A lot of you.
This evidence is not
Bitches
admissible
too,
in
bitches
court.
too. Haters try hiding their face, you shouldn't go there. Don't hide. Niggas try stepping on my toes, I need some more pairs. Couple pairs bag, now I'm getting love out of nowhere. I don't see snakes started hissing, didn't listen, I got no ears. Stacking chicken on the regular, and there's more here. More here. The bitches pulling out their tracks, they need some more hair. No games. Dick eating is a toxic trait, facts. And a lot of you niggas is out here dick eating. A lot of you niggas.
This evidence is not
Bitches
admissible
too,
in
bitches
court.
too. Haters try hiding their face, you shouldn't go there. Don't hide. Niggas try stepping on my toes, I need some more pairs. Couple pairs bag, now I'm getting love out of nowhere. I don't see snakes started hissing, didn't listen, I got no ears. Stacking chicken on the regular, and there's more here. More here. The bitches pulling out their tracks, they need some more hair. 26, money flipping with investments, I'm buying land. And y'all niggas weigh about a necklace, like 40 grand. I just copped some acres, living reckless. Money doubted feed. I know mama love looking proud of me. I told me never worry about the fake love. I want you, and now you gotta shake the niggas off. They shook. It's on you. How you really gonna make it? It's on you. Just know that I'm around, and it takes a little patience, a little time. About my feelings, then the money started coming. Turning 80, now the bread started doubling. Company started bubbling. Everybody wondering how this nigga done it with a drive in the spirit. Motivation lyrics. You relate when you hear it, then you feel it. This that shit you carry and conceal it. Protection on my life in case a hater try to steal it. Haters, fast car whipping, headed on a mission. I know you wanna see a nigga drown, keep fishing. That's why you niggas never see me fail, keep wishing. I ain't worried about niggas. Yo, Mouse, what up, Mouse?
No games.
Shout out to my brother Mouse on the check-in.
I leave that shit to y'all.
Y'all know what it is.
Chicken something Westchester County shit. And I'm sitting on
and y'all know what we doing this morning.
Maybe more, nigga.
Good morning.
It's real shit here.
Good afternoon.
You know what that shit be like, right? All we do is think about when niggas be hating on you and shit. Why y'all niggas hating and trying to figure out. I'm just staying
Can we talk?
It's no games, nigga. Journey I had to walk, won't take it back, won't face the facts. Face it. Some people ain't real, some just lie like that. Some be worried about how much money you cake and stack. Pocket watch and pray on your downfall, that shit be whack. Haters, I be chilling in my own zone, just chilling, thinking about how to get more money. Jump on my own phone. What should I do, nigga? Then I roam, make more plays, I sit back and puff more haze. While these niggas selling garbage, they be thinking they got the knowledge, they ain't speaking proper. They need to go see the doctor, get their mind checked. My mind focus on a lot of checks, a lot of bags. Plays make the lines connect the 50K. How y'all trying to flex? Y'all niggas lame and y'all buy respect. Y'all ain't slinging on no cane with no pie connects. Nah, all y'all do lie in the game but provide the death. Liars, dick eating, broke theories, all kinds of mess. Dick eater shit is fucking with my brain. I think my mind went deaf. Bugging out. You niggas ain't prepared, there ain't no timing left. Game over, off a bar, let's run it up, see who can rhyme the best. Let's see, niggas.
Yo, salute. Salute, it's your boy No Game Records, man. Welcome to the show, Smoke and Mirrors, man. When you tired of being gassed, I need everybody who come through the page to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell that lets you know when I'm live. Nah, the city had one against me, Mouse, so I got to find a new location. No Game Discount storefront will be coming soon. We just putting it in order, you know, so they don't change the situation. You know what I mean? This show is sponsored by Hartley Life, Volume 1, Volume 2. My books, go get those out right now on all platforms. Let's talk. Let's have some dialogue. Let's talk about what's really going on. I was sitting with my homeboy last night on a video call. Shout outs to Amir, a.k.a. Peace Beloved. And he said, yo, we need a segment. We need a segment that talks about things that people don't really want to talk about. There's a lot of things going on in society right now where, my personal opinion, our youth are being abandoned.
They're not being recognized, and they're the future of this country, this nation. If we ain't gonna protect the babies, who's gonna protect the babies? Now, unfortunately, there's some young guys that fell into bad situations, and some of them ended up in the prison system at a very young age. And no matter how much the parents try to talk to their kids and get them to do the right thing, it's up to us as a people, especially us who's outside, and all y'all cats who's gangsters and claiming that y'all outside and all this, that, and the third. It's time to wake these little kids up and show them different. Clayton, what's up? Hit the like button for me. The situations going on in the world, and I know about a couple of scenarios where a lot of young guys fell victim to the system before the ages of 21. Some just hitting 25. I try to do my part in my city and be an influence and be a beacon of motivation. I actually opened up my store in 2 locations in New Rochelle, but the city, after my brother was unalive. You know how the politics go. I'm going to get that back, though. There ain't no programs out here for these young ones, man. Put a 1 in the comment section if you agree with me. Put a 2 in the comment section if you disagree with me. There ain't nothing going on for these young ones except looking at these rappers imitate and perpetrate a life, and it's manipulating our children to wanting to be in the streets, and they also following the influence around their neighborhood. Influence is very powerful. And a lot of y'all cats be using y'all influence in the wrong light because y'all be misleading these children to think that the streets is where you need to be at, and being a criminal is where you need to be at. These rappers are out here encouraging these kids to fuck their lives up and have criminal records before they can even become an adult and become successful or even remotely try to do something to secure their future. Influence is very powerful. And speaking about that, I'm going to get into a little story about somebody, God bless the dead, who's not here no more. My boy, Jay Sean Banks, a.k.a. Swerve. He had a couple sons. And one in particular that I know and this story pertains to and it relates to is his son, Jay Sean Banks Jr. Shout out to Michelle Carter and all that. I pray for the family. I continue to pray for the family and everything. But we're bringing light to situations that nobody wants to talk about. Everybody's talking about these rappers and they beefing and who's this and who don't got lights, who don't got heat, whose baby mama did this, whose baby mama did that. That shit is a part of regular life. If you're not on top of your shit, you're going to lose your lights and you're going to lose your woman. But at the end of the day, we can't lose these children so early without teaching them something. So if you really a gangster in the street and you really one of them guys that really be in the street and you'll dish pain and trauma and situations, unhealthy situations on your own people, that means you're not trying to work to help your people elevate. We're going to get into a little story, man. I'm going to share a little story with y'all. And every time I go on, I'm going to give y'all stories and scenarios about youngins losing their freedom, some losing their lives to the system over being manipulated by these rappers, by this quote unquote culture. I remember rap was to educate people, uplift our people. These rappers only pick times where they want to go back to the communities that they're from and do things for their community, because now social media is the new drug. I'm not a rapper, and I did way more for my community than the rappers from my community. I want y'all to hear some things first before we get into this story, right? And I want y'all to hear a write-up on myself by the news talking about a case that they tried to give me to try and shut me up because they didn't want me to talk about the injustice that was done to my brother, and they didn't want me to fight for my brother. And this is real.
Ever think a Facebook post could land you in jail?
Yeah, I mean, it's a question.
Check it out.
Right.
In this case,
The system trying to shut me up. The government tried to shut me up. After they killed my brother, they saw that I was acting the way I was acting. They started following my social media. So be aware that they do follow your social media and they do bring your shit up in court if they trying to bring a charge against you. It says, F love, get money. I got a whole bunch of hats in here. One say stand on business. One say, nah, I'm good. One say, don't ask me for nothing. I got a couple of other hats in here. You know, I got hats for sale. I'll have a little post on my YouTube channel. Be looking out for the post. I'll show you a little bit of merch that I got too. I got merch. Sometimes we give away money. Sometimes we give away free merchandise on this channel. Like one person won a brand new Coach bag. Another person ordered a sweatsuit. Follow me on Instagram at No Game Records or at Stack Chicken LLC. That's Stack Chicken, CHYKEN LLC on Instagram. But we're going to get in this dialogue where it's talking about me and how I face so many charges for expressing my First Amendment right on social media. Be careful.
ever think a Facebook post could land you in jail?
Yeah, I mean, it's a question.
Is what we're looking at today.
Right.
In this case, with Henderson Clark.
The Henderson Clark case.
Yeah, so we're diving deep into this story out in New Rochelle, where Henderson Clark is facing charges for allegedly threatening the police officer who shot and killed Kamal Flowers back in 2020.
Really interesting how this case kind of sits at the intersection of free speech and social media and police accountability.
Yeah.
All these things kind of coming together. And
Yeah.
and I think that's what makes it so fascinating. You know, we're going to be looking at kind of those blurred lines between
Yeah.
expressing your anger about something, especially something as controversial as a police shooting.
Right.
And then what the law considers an actual threat.
Yeah. So we're using a piece from Talk of the Sound, which is a local news website there. And they've got this really in-depth investigative piece that we're going to be pulling from.
They did a great job. I mean, they really dug deep into this.
Yeah.
They've got court documents, social media posts,
Mhm.
and even details about.
Shout outs to Robert Cox, because when my brother was killed, murdered, he brought me all the CCTV footage. The police don't know that I got the same footage they have. I've been shouting out to all these activists. No response. My brother was 24 years old, father of two. He was gunned down by the police and lied on and said that he had a gun and he aimed it at the police and attempted to shoot the police officer. I have all the footage that contradicts that, and nobody wants to talk about it, so we talk about it. These are the charges that they tried to give me for talking about it.
Misconduct allegations against the officer involved.
Oh, wow.
So really interesting stuff.
Okay, so I guess to really understand how we got here,
Right.
we need to understand what landed Henderson Clark in legal trouble.
Right. So he's facing a 6-count indictment
Wow.
for something called.
First and foremost, they had a 6-count secret indictment for misdemeanors that never took place in our city's history or county's history ever. That means they was really trying to shut me up because they knew that this black man was smart as a motherfucker. Excuse my French. And there's nothing that they could have done to make me quiet on any situations because I knew what I knew and I had the evidence to prove it. So they tried to give me mad
aggravated
charges.
harassment in the 2nd degree.
Okay.
And it's important to note this is a misdemeanor in New York.
Okay, so a misdemeanor.
So getting on social media, talking your shit, they call it threatening a police officer and they give me aggravated harassment for
expressing my First Amendment right on a social media platform that they gave to us to express our fucking feelings and rights.
Meaner for threatening a police officer.
Right. So the reason that he was indicted was because of the content of some of his social media posts.
Okay.
So prosecutors believe that his words actually went beyond just like venting or being angry, and that they
First Amendment right is freedom of speech. It's not freedom of selective talking. It's not freedom of to be angry but not raise your tone. I don't give a damn. I'm protected by the Constitution of the United States as an American, as a Black American, something that y'all gave to us that y'all can't take back. And once the Black people start getting educated and using the same laws that protect us as a people, not just a race, certain races are being really protected and guarded by the Constitution. So it's for everybody. It's for Black people too. If you educate yourself and know what the hell's going on, there's certain things that can't be done to you. A lot of y'all scared to fight the system.
crossed the line into what the law would consider a true threat.
Okay.
And I think it's important to remember here that it's not just about the words themselves, but it's also about whether a reasonable person would interpret those words as a genuine intention to cause harm.
Right. And some of his posts were pretty intense.
Yeah.
I know Talk of the Sound included some excerpts where Clark actually talked about being on a suicide mission.
Right.
Even a post where he mentions giving him death, and presumably that's referring to the officer.
Right.
So I guess my question is, what does Clark say about all of this?
So his defense argues that while his words were very strong, they were really born out of the grief and the anger that he felt over Flowers' death and the perceived lack of accountability for the officer who shot him.
Right.
So he claimed.
So now they're trying to give me charges for expressing my First Amendment right. And what I just did is I just went into the situation that actually helped me kick this case. It's called Brandenburg versus Ohio. Brandenburg versus Ohio. The facts of that case is Brandenburg, a leader in the Ku Klux Klan. Listen to the whole story. A leader in the Ku Klux Klan made a speech at a Klan rally and was later convicted under an Ohio criminal syndicalism law. Ohio is a commonwealth. New York isn't. The law made illegal advocating crime, sabotage, violence, or unlawful methods of terrorism as a means of accomplishing industrial or political reform, as well as assembling with any society, group, or assemblage of persons formed to teach or advocate the doctrines of criminal syndicalism. How can they convict this man for exercising his First Amendment right? And I think his Third Amendment, which is freedom to assemble. Loitering is not a crime. Talking shit is not a crime. These police cannot hit you with harassment or disorderly conduct or nothing because you are protected by the First Amendment. The conclusion. The court's per curiam opinion held that Ohio law violated Brandenburg's right to free speech. The court used a two-pronged test to evaluate speech, as speech can be prohibited if it's directed at inciting or producing imminent lawless action, and it is likely to incite or produce such action. The Criminal Syndicalism Act made illegal the advocacy and teaching of doctrines while ignoring whether or not the advocacy and teaching would actually incite imminent lawless action. So, what that means is you're entitled to talk as much shit as you want to the police, to whoever the fuck you want, as long as you don't commit no action after that. You can tell a motherfucker you gonna whoop their ass. You'll fuck them up. Excuse my French. But as long as you don't do it after your speech is said, that is not a crime. This is what they tried to give me, and I used this case to beat it. A Ku Klux Klan member, racist, wear white sheets over his head, made speeches about not liking Jews, blacks, or any other people other than the Klan. He got off. The failure to make this distinction rendered the law overly broad and in violation of the Constitution. That's what they did.
Claims that he never actually intended to harm anyone.
So this is where the First Amendment kind of comes into play,
Right.
right? Because you might be surprised to learn that even speech that you might find deeply offensive
Right.
is protected under the First Amendment as long as it doesn't directly incite violence.
And that's what they tried to say that I was doing. I actually had 4,000 people on my block. We had a big cookout that I sponsored. I had 4,000 people on my block that was ready to tear the whole city up. And I stopped it. I actually stopped it. They was so scared to come through the neighborhood. They was having their undercovers and people off duty riding past Horton Avenue. And we watching them videotape what's going on Horton. We had people that was from the north end of my city, considered a predominantly white neighborhood that didn't like, some of them didn't like blacks. Let's just be real. Some of them came from their predominantly white neighborhood to Horton Avenue to see what was going on. And once they saw that the citizens had enough, one white woman told me she was proud of me, had her children in the back of her truck, rolled down her window, stopped in the middle of the block with a whole bunch of black people and said, "I'm proud of you." They tried to suppress my First Amendment right.
Exactly.
So it's a tricky balance between protecting free speech,
Right.
but then also making sure that people are safe.
I fought that case by myself. I didn't have no support from our community. I didn't have nothing. I fought that case by myself, and the knowledge that I obtained by doing research, I actually came out the victor in that situation. But let's get back. We got to do better as a people. We don't support each other. We don't do nothing. If you agree with me, put a 1 in the comments. And if you don't agree with me, put a 2 in the comments. But then give your reason why you put a 2 in the comments. We don't stick together as a people. I caught that case because the police killed my brother and they mistreated my neighborhood. They saw so many black people in my neighborhood, they brought a tank to my neighborhood, and one officer got out his truck with an AR-15. That cop turned out to be the same cop that unalived another kid, young man from the community, Jarrell C2 Garris. Rest in peace. Prayers and condolences to his mother and his sister. People thought I wasn't genuine when I was out there fighting for the young brother. That was somebody that I knew. But now we're going to get into this shit right here to where the influence of the rap community affects our children. It affects our children so bad that we forget. We forget the youth is the most important piece to the puzzle right now. Everybody out there that's beefing in the rap game and worried about the beefs in the rap game, y'all niggas is old as fuck. Y'all forgetting about the young niggas. What about the young niggas, man? The young niggas is going to be the old niggas, and some of y'all going to be gone. But what about the young niggas, cuz? This situation right here involves somebody that's my family. He's like my family. Little young boy. His father's like my brother, so he's like my nephew. And he was living in a state where recklessness is going on. If you know anything about Virginia, you know Virginia's a dangerous state in the United States. We're not going to say too dangerous because there's productive shit going on in the state of Virginia, but certain parts of Virginia are very dangerous. There's nothing for these black kids nowhere but poverty, drug activity, gangs floating around, and access to firearms, especially in the South. Henrico County, a man convicted in the killing of a Henrico High School student and basketball player Diamond Brown Mosby received a life sentence in Henrico Circuit Court Tuesday. Jay Sean Banks, not Swerve, but Swerve's son, Jay Sean Banks was convicted of first-degree murder, armed robbery, and using a firearm in the commission of a felony during a jury trial in Henrico Circuit Court on January 11th, January 12th, early this year. Not this year, but this was 2023. On Tuesday, August 8th, Banks was sentenced to 99 years in prison for first-degree murder, 20 years in prison for armed robbery, with 10 years suspended, and 3 years in prison for using a firearm in commission of a felony. In total, 122 years in prison with 10 years suspended. Brown Mosby was shot on May 19, 2022. According to the police, a Virginia state trooper had been assisting a driver along Interstate 64 West on Chaco Valley Bridge when another driver pulled up asking for assistance with their injured passenger who had been shot. Brown Mosby was identified as the passenger and given assistance by the state trooper before taken to a nearby hospital where she later died from her injuries. She was a basketball star. And little Jay Sean was out there running with no guidance, no positive guidance. His father was unalived right before this happened, so he really didn't have no real positive guidance. And his father was in the streets, involved in the streets too, so he was doing his father thing, but when our kids become teenagers and they get older, they make decisions, but it's imperative that we as a people outside their homes has to be involved. Can't keep saying, well, it ain't my kid. These kids don't listen. You got to approach different. Put a 1 in the comments if you agree. Put a 2 if you don't. But if you put a 2, make sure you put your reason why you put the 2. We're going to continue. In June 2022, a total of 3 suspects was charged in connection with Brown Mosby's death. 2 of them were unidentified juveniles. The other was an 18-year-old Martel Morrow of Henrico. According to court records, Morrow was found guilty on being accessory after the fact and was sentenced to 5 years with 5 years suspended on 2029. So he cooperated. Martel Morrow cooperated in that situation. Banks was charged in November 2022, months after Brown's Mosby murder in May of that year. As a people, we failed a youngin'. There's other youngins in jail that went to jail early. He turned 20 years old in prison. He was out in a state that really has no programs. There's nothing but negative shit going on. I don't know the financial situation of the family, if they could have moved or not, but at the end of the day, that has nothing to do with it. We have to do better as a people. That gang shit is whack, bro. That gang shit is getting our young ones sent off or they getting murdered. Nobody's going to the families and making sure the families is okay. If you are OG or old head or have some type of influence outside in them streets when y'all walking around out there and you see them youngins out there in situations where you know it could lead to bad situations, step in and do your part, whether they listen. Some got respect out here. Some of y'all old heads got respect out there where y'all could pull some of them kids y'all see out there that's going through shit. Some of y'all got some shit where y'all can help them out. Give them a job. Tell them niggas to come cut your grass or come clean your car or do something to that matter. We as adults and Black adults, we have to stop being selfish and neglecting these kids. This is smoke and mirrors when you tired of being gassed. This is not your regular podcast. This is not your regular YouTube. I do things and influence the kids to become business owners and own your own shit. Don't work for nobody. You don't have to be legal to make no money. You can design hats. There's warehouses where you can buy blank material at a warehouse price and you go get you a DTF print and print you a logo on it. And now you got merchandise. And if you got people that really want to see you win and be successful, they're going to buy your merchandise and support you. That's what we got to do as a people. We don't do that. Prime example, I had a storefront in my city right across the street from the police station. While I was talking shit about them killing my brother, I still established a business and a storefront in my city. One of the very few in my city that ever do something like that. My store had everything name brand, from Tide, Gain Pebbles, the fabric softener of every name brand. I had Dove body wash, Dove bars of soap, garbage bags. I had a lot of shit. Sheets, blankets. I had clothes. I had sneakers. I had everything in there. But my people didn't come through and fuck with me. They came through when they was broke and needed credit, but they take their money when they get paid and go bring it to somebody they don't know that won't help them if they in a situation, if they was messed up, and they give their money to them people. No disrespect, respectfully, but my community didn't do right by me. Some people did, and I appreciate the love since 2016 when I was doing it out my house. When I had a store set up in my crib, there were certain people that supported that. But we got to do better as a people. And with that business opportunity that I created for myself, it became a legal business where I got a storefront and a small business grant. I had the young ones in my store. I gave opportunities to the young ones, some young ones in my store who wanted to become businessmen. I allowed some young ones to put their merchandise in sections of my store and make money and didn't charge them nothing. We have functions, showcases. I showcase talent in my store. I had artist showcases of every genre came to my store. I had the young white boys from Eastchester, which really in Eastchester is considered a racist area. I had the young white boys coming from Eastchester coming to my store. Shout outs to them. They follow me on the gram. They brought their friends. Every time they came to the store, they brought more friends. They checked out the store. Some of them bought stuff. Young white kids. My doors wasn't open to just a race of people. It was open to everybody. I had Spanish people. Shout outs to my Latino community. They came through buying some of the clothes, buying some stuff. Shout outs to this one, I don't know if he's Italian or if he's Russian, but this one old white gentleman used to come by my store every day and buy a roll of tissue. I don't know if he was hoarding it and stacking it up. It became a regiment for him to see a store, and a discount store. And plus, I wasn't even charging the same prices. My prices was $4 to $5 cheaper than any other store. The young boy started seeing this. I had a studio in the back, had a bathroom in the back with a shower in case you was playing basketball and you didn't want to go straight to the crib. You wanted to come hang out. You could have took a shower in the back. You had privacy. I had a bed set up in case you was tired. You could lay back. I had a curtain to divide the store so you couldn't see the back of the store. They came through. We watched basketball at night. We watched the playoffs. I had live TV. I had food. And we had meetings. I had some kids from the local college come pull up, just checking the store out, seeing it was a Black-owned store owned by a gentleman like myself, and they wanted to know how did I do it. I had classes. But there wasn't so many people in my community that was pitching in. They was watching. And that's where we go wrong, because that don't help our kids. That don't help our kids when we out here being selfish and thinking it's all about us. Niggas is selfish, bro. That's why our youth is ending up in these gangs and ending up in prison and ending up behind the wall for 15 and 20 years because they unaliving people because they think that's the way to go. Prison ain't gonna do nothing for you but turn you into a smarter criminal. But what do we do as a people to prevent our young ones ending up in that prison cell? We need to be up in our city halls talking to these politicians that y'all vote for, thinking that they're going to change shit, and they ain't doing nothing. We need to get some of these buildings that's being put up all around our cities and have programs that's implied in them buildings to where our kids can have somewhere to go. There's no buildings that's teaching our children how to be business owners. Shout outs to Kwame Dixon. Shout outs to Nate Adams. They got programs to where shout outs to LeVar Laria at Fear No One Apparel. They got programs to where they helping these little kids. Shout outs to Chico Flowers. Shout outs to Coach K Bond. But they don't have no backing from the cities. And shout outs to Oopie out there in White Plains. Shout outs to brothers in Yonkers. Shout outs to the brothers in Mount Vernon that's trying to do something different to show these kids that there's something different than the damn streets. The streets don't love nobody. Y'all ain't waking up yet. Y'all not paying attention. Shout outs to Ali Guns of God. He's trying to get his program off the ground. It's called Stiff, No Freaky. Stop the itchy finger. We got to have better gun control. I thought New York State was the gun state that didn't have no gun laws. You can't have no firearm in New York State. I thought that New York State was one of them severe penalty states that if you get caught with a firearm and you're not associated with the people who's supposed to have the firearms, then you go. There's a lot of situations where a lot of kids are getting unalived out here in these streets with these firearms floating around, and then ain't nothing happening. What needs to be done, honestly, is that at these toll bridges, when they come into the city, there need to be scanners like they was at customs. New York turned into a spot like Mexico, so to speak. New York should have customs. Scanners. Everybody car get checked. If there's fucking traffic at the bridge, so what? Put a 1 in the comment section if you agree. Put a 2 in the comment section if you don't, but give your reason. But this shit gotta stop. If niggas is really, really serious about changing something, then we have to change it, bro. Everybody who has an influence has to step in and stop being selfish and neglecting the facts, man. If you got to influence, change the shit up. The rap music is the reason why all our young kids are fucking bugging. Excuse my French. Rappers don't want to put out shit no more to make kids use their brain and think. You don't want to educate niggas through rap. Y'all niggas want niggas to be inmates. Y'all want niggas to be part of a system that's going to fuck around and give them 20 years while y'all out here floating around looking good and looking for the opportunity to manipulate somebody else's child or children. You rappers should hold yourself accountable for this shit, bro. Just being real with y'all, man. I don't have no smoke screen in front of my face, man. I walk them streets too to tell y'all that them streets don't give a fuck about you. You listening to these podcasters, no disrespect, but, you know, truth is truth. Niggas is pitching the wrong shit. You're watching these programs that's promoting the wrong shit. Sometimes you got to motherfucking teach yourself. Niggas is scared to read books. I see a lot of people is scared to read and do research. Y'all following off of what people are telling y'all and listening to what people are saying, and they just giving their opinions. They not providing y'all with no actuals. All they telling y'all is about who's telling, what rappers got beef, what girls is being thottish on the Instagram, a whole bunch of negative solicitation. Corrupting minds, being part of the program. Nobody's teaching nobody how to become a author or a business owner or even a land owner. This is the channel for that. We separate ourselves from the normal, bro. We not following that. That's the Joneses. That's a trend. Getting on here and gossiping about other situations is a trend. Who's going to teach you how to be smart financially? Who's going to teach you that you should be thinking about getting some type of land and owning a piece of this United States so you can give generational wealth to your family, the young ones that come up after you? Who's giving y'all that information? Because every time you get on YouTube, you checking shit out, you seeing people gossiping about rappers, beef, who's snitching, who's in jail, who joined what gang, this, that, all that other shit. That shit don't make no sense, and it ain't doing nothing for you. Who's teaching y'all how to open your own companies? Who's teaching y'all this shit? Who's teaching y'all how to make your own merchandise, man? These niggas don't want to see y'all win and elevate that way. And y'all got to stop following them, honestly and respectfully. Because they ain't leading you nowhere but down the rabbit hole, too. And the more you watch those type of people, the more you go deeper down the rabbit hole and you don't see reality. The reality is we got to do better with this shit as a people, bro. We got to start supporting one another better. I don't give a fuck, bro. There really shouldn't be no issues in situations with us as a people, man. When you make the wrong decisions in life, you're going to get the wrong consequences and responses. There's youngins out here that's looking up to some of you cats and y'all leading them wrong. But y'all want to be recognized as somebody who's doing something good. What's good about leading your young ones through trauma? What's good about leading your young ones to the prison system? What's good about that shit, bro? But hey, don't shoot the messenger. And even if you try to shoot the messenger, I got a vest on. I got a vest of knowledge on. I'm going to continue to wake people up and let people know that this shit is bigger than this rap shit and this YouTube shit. It's real life shit going on. And we got to do better. Salute to everybody that's out there that checked in, man. I appreciate y'all, man. Make sure you hit the like button, the subscribe button, the notification bell. Let you know when I go live. We're going to do this again. This is a new segment that I'm bringing to this podcast. It's about the youth and how their lives is messed up and over because the influence is fucking them up. Prayers out to the Banks family. Prayers out to the Carter family. Prayers out for little Jay Sean, my family. And I'm going to pray that something happens to where majority of that shit get chopped down. And if you a youngin' out there, do some research, man. Know what you getting caught up in. And if you get caught up in something and you got to go to the jail, get in the law library and read a book. That might be the key to save your life. Like my little brother, God bless the dead, that was unalived by the police. We still fighting for him, Kamal Flowers. He got a saying. And his saying is, it's a cold world. Stay focused and perform. Make your circle a dot. Keep your grass cut. Watch for the snakes. Always be aware of your surroundings. Most importantly, it's that chicken, y'all. Till next time, man, I appreciate y'all, man. Tune in. Smoke and mirrors when you tired of being gassed.